Welcome back to Cooking with Siobhan. It's Siobhan Muir, and today I'm going to make a quick and easy cheesy biscuits. Okay, it says quick cheese biscuits, but I like quick and easy cheesy. Kind of has a nice rhyme to it. So this is going to be gluten-free, and it's actually really simple. We were looking at the recipe, it's like, really? That's it? That's totally it. And these ones are going to be more of something you would eat with a spaghetti dinner. So it's a little more on the Italian side because we're using Manchego cheese instead of cheddar, and we're using dried basil too. So it's going to give a little bit of a kick. But one thing that was kind of neat about these is it said you can make mini egg sandwiches with them, and I thought, yeah, on cheesy basil biscuits, hell yeah. So this is what we're gonna. So it's supposed to look something like this. And when my assistant saw it, he goes, "Ooh, Red Lobster biscuits." I just went, "The what?" No, we're not going to do the Red Lobster ones. We're doing, instead of using cheddar, we are using Manchego. Or, you know, if you prefer Parmesan, you can totally use any Italian hard cheese. We like Manchego, which is a Spanish cheese, but it's a sheep cheese. So it's got a slightly smoother taste than Parmesan, which is a little more tart and sharp. Anyway, so what are you going to need? You are going to need 1 cup. This is a small recipe. It's only going to be like for, everybody gets 1 biscuit. It only makes about 8. So it's really just kind of like, we're going to make it for tonight, right? You won't have any leftovers. But 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Ta-da! 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. A 1/2 cup of shredded cheese. Whichever one you use, you can choose to do just cheddar. You can choose to do Parmesan. You could probably do Asiago. This is Manchego. Whatever cheese you like. You need a 1/2 cup of shredded. 2 tablespoons of butter. I have 3 here, but I'm just going to cut 1 off. And then 2/3 of a cup of milk. And that's basically it. And I got out a wood spoon and it said, "And stir with a fork." And I'm like, a fork? Really? When I have all these cool tools? But let's see how it goes. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 232 degrees Celsius. Then it says combine flour, baking powder, and salt in a medium bowl. So you need a cup of flour. You need 1 1/4 cup, 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I would suggest, you can use a fork, you can use anything, but I would suggest using a whisk. It makes it kind of easily mix everything together. And then it's kind of all combined. You can use whatever you like, but I just kind of like having a whisk to just kind of get all the dry ingredients together and mixed. And then you kind of have, this is basically a biscuit mix. Looks like white powder. It pretty much is. All right, and then it says stir in the cheddar. Well, I'm using Manchego. And because we are adding the basil, you add it to the dry ingredients, and you want a 1/2 teaspoon of basil. And if you get a little extra, it's no big deal. Okay, and then you're supposed to kind of like stir this all together. Cut in butter using a pastry blender or 2 knives until coarse crumbs form. I have the tool. So that's what we're going to do. But you only need 2 tablespoons. There are 3 here. I'm just going to cut 1 off and put it back in the fridge. And then you get to use your 2 knives. If you do 2 knives, it's kind of a scissoring almost action. With this, you just kind of do this sort of thing. And you're going to shake it off and so what you're really trying to do is just cut it into little bits so that it mixes with the flour and you get a crumbly texture. And it's okay to use, you know, other tools to clean it off, because the idea is just to cut it up into bits. All right. So basically it's gonna look kind of like coarse crumbs. And if you're not satisfied, you can always work it as long as you want to. It said, using a fork, stir milk into flour mixture until a soft dough forms. Do not overmix or overwork the dough. I was going to use a wooden spoon, but we'll see what they suggest. So you add the milk and then you stir in with a fork. You add and then it says, drop dough in heaping tablespoons 1 inch apart onto an ungreased baking sheet. Bake until biscuits are firm to the touch, about 15 minutes. It is a really quick and easy cheesy biscuit mix. 8 heaping tablespoons. I'm going to start small. This one got a bit big, but I'm going to start small just to make sure I have enough for everybody to get some. You know, if you made them smaller, you could make 12 to 14, I think. It just depends on how big you want to make them. All right, once the oven is ready, you bake it for about 15 minutes. Look kind of good. And they're gluten-free. So none of that pesky wheat stuff. Ha! It's ready! And set it to bake for 15 minutes and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. Now they're very hot. You are going to have to let these sit. You can't serve them this hot. If you serve this hot, people will just not speak to you again. Mostly because their tongue is burned. But, wow, they smell good. I'm going to let these things cool for like at least 10 minutes. Because again, I want my biscuits warm, but I don't want them that hot. I don't want people to be unhappy. But I mean, they turned out to be a pretty good size, and they're nice golden brown. And this was 17 minutes. I did 17 minutes. Okay, well, I'll show you what they look like when they're cool. All right, so it only took about 5 minutes to cool. It helps that we have a ceiling fan, but it only took about 5 minutes to cool. And this is what it looks like. Fluffy, light, cheesy, with that hint of basil. These are really good. And they're really fast and easy. And again, you don't like basil? Just put in cheese. You don't like cheddar? You could probably get away with things. You're gonna want a harder cheese. Like cheddar's hard. You'll want like Pecorino Romano or Parmesan or Asiago or something like that. You'll wanna, but they're light and fluffy and gluten-free. All right, so that was really easy. Quick and easy cheesy biscuits. That's what I'm calling them. Why? Because I changed a couple of the ingredients, but quick and easy cheesy biscuits. Those are good. I'm gonna be making those a lot, I can tell. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Definitely ring the bell to find out when there's new videos that go up. Like and comment on this video. Like and comment on any videos you see from me. Subscribe to the channel so that you know when new quick and easy cheesy biscuits go up. Okay, that's just the one. And definitely sign up for my Patreon because one, it helps me directly. You don't even have to worry about who's filtering what. The money comes directly to me, and it helps me do more of this, make more recipes, especially ones that if you ever want to, message me through all the social media sites and say, hey, have you ever heard of this recipe? Can you make that? I'm game to try, especially if I have to do it gluten-free. I'm game to try. So definitely do that. Sign up for my Patreon. There's all sorts of tiers that you can choose from that'll help you pick your poison, so to speak. And yeah, so thanks again for joining me, and I'm gonna enjoy eating these things. Happy making, happy baking, happy eating, and happy reading. Talk to you later.